Joe Sport from Fantasy Team Assist, talking to you about Week 8 in the NFL season. And, before we get into that, last week for Week 7, I said that the welfare pick of the week was going to be Hoyer and Nate Washington. And that paid huge dividends. They both made value. It was like getting double, triple cheese on the welfare line. It was crazy. Hoyer scored 22 points, and Nate Washington scored 29 points. And at their value, that was huge. And the fact that since they were so cheap, you were able to get other players on the team that probably produced in their respects. All right. Now, Week 8. All right. We have Andy Dalton, whose quarterback rating is 116, and he's going against the Steelers, who are averaging 277 yards, giving up 277 yards per game. That's the 6th worst in the NFL this year. All right, so we also have Phillip Rivers, quarterback rating of 99.2, who is going against the Ravens, who are averaging, giving up 283 yards a game. That's the 5th worst in the NFL this year. Now, the third quarterback is Drew Brees, 93 quarterback rating, going against the Giants. The Giants are averaging, their defense is averaging 288 yards of passing. So they're giving up the most out of the three teams here, Steelers, Ravens, and Giants. They're the 3rd worst in the NFL. And Drew Brees is coming to town with a new weapon in Watson and a lot of other options. He's spreading the ball around. So I definitely like that matchup for Drew Brees. And again, his quarterback rating is 93. All right, wide receivers. Keenan Allen, who's averaging 12 targets a game. He's going against the Ravens. And again, the Ravens are giving up 283 yards a game in the air. 5th worst in the NFL. Brandon Marshall, averaging 10 targets a game, going against the Raiders. The Raiders are giving up 303 yards a game in the air. That is dead last. They're giving up the worst yards to the passing game. They're the only ones that are giving up over 300 yards a game. Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker and company, they could come into town with that defense that they have and throw the ball around quite a bit. Now we have Odell Beckham Jr. He's averaging 9.4 targets a game, and he's going against the Saints. The Saints are giving up 276 yards a game to the pass, the 7th worst in the NFL. I know Beckham didn't have a big game last game. He had a hamstring issue, but he's healthy. He's saying he has no issues. So I'm thinking that at 9.4 targets a game going against the Saints, it should be a high-scoring game. And ODB should get a lot of his targets, and hopefully he can get into the touchdown once or twice. Get into the end zone once or twice. Now we got running backs. Adrian Peterson, averaging 88 yards per game, going against the Bears, who are giving up 125 yards a game to opposing running backs, the 8th worst in the NFL. Now we also have Johnson, Chris Johnson from the Arizona Cardinals, who had a monster game last week. He's averaging 81 yards a game, and he's going against, the Browns, Cleveland Browns. Pretty much between last year and this year, the strategy you want to use with picking a running back is put the running back that's going against the Browns. because they are dead last. They are giving up an average of 151 yards a game to opposing running backs. That's crazy. So last week, Gurley tore him up, and Chris Johnson's coming into town, and he's hot. He ran like crazy last week. Excuse me. All right, third running back might be a little surprised, but Jonathan Stewart. He's averaging 70 yards a game quietly. Everybody thinks of Cam Newton as being the runner over there in Carolina. But Jonathan Stewart is averaging 70 yards a game. He's going against the Colts, who are giving up 123 yards a game, the 10th worst in the NFL. So, and they have said that they want to run the ball a little bit more. So Jonathan Stewart may see a pickup in carries going against the Colts, 10th worst run defense. I think it's a good pick. And he is a lot cheaper than the other running backs. Okay, last but not least, let's move over to tight ends. We have Eifert from the Bengals. He's averaging 6.7 targets a game. Pretty high for a tight end. He's going against the Steelers, the 6th worst pass defense in the NFL, giving up 277 yards a game to passing. Now we've got Kelsey. He's also averaging 6.7 yards targets a game, going against the Lions, who are the 9th worst in the NFL, giving up 269 yards a game. Now, Kelsey, I just want to add, we know Jamal Charles is out. We know that Macklin is out. He's got the concussion. I think he may not even be clear to play. So if Macklin doesn't play, Kelsey is going to be even more important. He's going to see a pickup in targets. So and as it is, they lost their number one offensive weapon in Jamal Charles. So I think Kelsey going against the Lions, 9th worst pass defense, is a good pick, especially if they lose Macklin. Again, all right. The third tight end is Watson from the Saints. He's averaging 5.4 targets a game. He's going against the Giants, who are the 3rd worst pass defense in the NFL, giving up 288 yards to the pass every game. So I think Drew Brees, he spreads the ball around. He's got Snead. He's got Cooks. Now he's got Watson. Ingram is played strong. So I think even with that being said, they do spread the ball around. But Watson is a good pick. He's still inexpensive, and he could have another big game going against the 3rd worst pass defense in the NFL. I have a feeling that Giants-Saints game is going to be a high-scoring game. 28-31, 28-30, something crazy. That's it. Those are the picks. If you like it, click like, and please check us out. Fantasy Team Assist. There should be a link. All right.